Hello, this is Goku 4071, back with my Legend of Zelda series review. This time, yet again, this is going to be me raving on how much I love Ocarina of Time. Because last time I said how great Link to the Past was. And Link to the Past is a fantastic game. Zelda Link to the Past. But Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is as good. In my opinion. I don't have a favorite between the two. Originally the game was going to be, originally when they were creating the game, because it was the first 3D game, their concept to create it, and this happens a lot, because you don't know what you're doing, and you don't have an idea, is that they were recreating, Link to the Past, to kind of have an idea of how to do it. So they had something to look back on and say, okay, this is how this area looks. Okay, this was one of the earliest. This game came out, I believe, about probably 1.5 to 2 years after the system came out. I think it was 2 years because there was a lot of E3 coverage on it, and there was a lot of this is coming and this is going to look amazing, and so people knew it was coming. And people were psyched for this game. But it was one of the earlier 3D games, and it was their first attempt at making Zelda 3D. So, but when the game came out, they didn't change anything. I mean, quite literally, this game completely is identical, except for a couple of different things. But it added so much more to Zelda, and it made Zelda look more realistic in many ways. Now let's talk about the gameplay. Okay, the gameplay is very similar to the other Zelda games. You go around, beat dungeons, you get a sword. Obviously the sword play changed slightly. Now you can actually do slashing, and that became a little bit better looking. The item collection is still very massive. There aren't as many doubles in this game, like there's, like, I believe in the last game there were a lot of double items. Obviously your sword and your shield has doubles, but mostly everything else doesn't have doubles. There are still 4 bottles. And all that stuff is still pretty much the same from the last game. Let's talk about story. Okay, the story is quite literally, this is, I'm not exactly sure. Like, there are a lot of Zelda timeline theories out there. And, basically there are 2 high theories on which the first one is. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is one of them. And that's the one I believe is first in the timeline. And then there is a Game Boy Advanced one. Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap. The Minish Cap is the other one. Because you get your hat in that game. But even if this isn't the first one, this is the earliest point. This was the earliest point we ever got to go in Zelda timeline. We actually get to know about how Hyrule became Hyrule, and we actually get to finally see how Ganon became what he looks like. So you finally get to know how Ganon became that pig-like creature. And that means there are a lot of things in this game that weren't in the previous games. Like, you don't get his minions. You don't fight those kind of minions. You do fight a lot of very similar ones. You fight skeletons. Of course, you fight a lot of new things. Another thing that this game added that was actually kind of cool, and it's very story related, where you actually get, in the last game, you did have Zorons, but they were like these little fish creatures that pump out and shoot at you. This time they're friendly, and you get 3 races that are very important to the story. The next game really gets more into the story of these 3 races, but they're the Zorons, the Gorons, which are a rock race, and then the Dooku, which are like a plant kind of wood race, which are the only one that aren't actually technically friendly in it. But you do get to see them, and, yeah. and you get to interact with these races. The game, once again, the story is that you have to find these 3 gems to find the Master Sword to defeat Ganon. Because Ganon is manipulating Zelda's father, and Link is the only one that can save Hyrule. You get a sweet horse. You get a bird that helps you out throughout the game, an owl. And this game is just amazing. And there's nothing I can say to prove this game is amazing. I don't know if I said this in Link to the Past. This has been on a lot of things. Link to the Past was on Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advanced, Wii. This game is on N64. It's also on GameCube. The GameCube version is quite harder to find. And it will cost you a little bit more because they were limited editions. If you were to buy Wind Waker, you got it for free. That's how I got my copy. And then if you were to buy a GameCube at a certain point, you were to get Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. And that's also on the Wii. The Wii is the best system if you want to play these old games, because they're all on it. Now, negatives. Are there any negatives? I'm biased in this category because I don't think there are any negatives in this game. I don't think there's anything bad about this game. And so, it's, in my opinion, a perfect game. Okay, this game, to me, gets a 10. And if not a 10, a 9.9. I'll give it a 9.9. Because there might be a flaw here that I'm overlooking, but if you haven't played it, play it. If you like Zelda and you haven't played it, why aren't you playing it? Okay, this is Goku4071 here with my 4th video. I've done a lot of these. 4th video in my Legend of Zelda series review, and I will be back next time with Majora's Mask. Which, like I said with my first video, Majora's Mask, I do have some complaints, and it's not a perfect game like this one was. So, I got 2 great games in a row, and now I'm going to have a little bit of bashing to do, but it's still a great game. There's very few bad Zelda games, so keep playing Zelda, and see you next time.